Hello, everyone. This is the Crusader Historian, and today I am starting with um, a little mini series, as it were. Maybe I have two videos planned, but we will be sorry about that, but I'm planning on expanding it in the future. Currently, I have 2 episodes in the works, 2 videos. We'll see what we can do with the others. Anyway, it's called The Importance of Heritage. And the first one is titled Why Taking Down Statues Are Bad. And over the past couple of years, it's how I describe it is I find our nation, the United States of America, has changed. I mean, a long time ago, despite initial disagreements about certain people, we still respected the past. Now, we are getting into a period where this is seen as okay, or people make excuses in favor of the vandals who did it. And this is a statue of Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers and the third president of the United States. Someone desecrated this statue of him, and it was seen because, well, honestly, because he owned slaves. And if you're thinking about this is going to get into the whole Charlottesville Confederacy thing, you are correct. Fun fact, Robert E. Lee, he owned slaves but hated slavery. He was a good, honorable, amazing man. And he was seen as not just a spirit of the Confederacy, but of reconciliation between the two sides. And he said that if he owned all the slaves in the South, he would gladly give them up free in exchange for the Union getting together. Now, what is the Civil War about? Yes, slavery was a part, but was also a debate about an idea in America. The balance between state power and federal power of where the line is drawn. And a lot of people in the South would over time not care for slavery too much, but they felt like the North should let the South work out their own problems. And on memorials to those that died, there's vandalism. And that's not the only one. You get this. And for what? Just as monuments of soldiers that bled and died in our wars, I mean, there were heroes and villains on both sides of this conflict. Brothers fought and killed each other over this. These memorials should be seen as memorials to remind us the sacrifice we had to pay to resolve this issue. All these memorials, all these flags should be seen as memorials about how we came as a nation. I mean, I have a family of my own, and I just can't imagine about the fact of me being forced to kill my own brother over an issue. This should not be seen as a way to idolatrize or honor slavery. This should be seen as a memorial about the price our nation had to pay to resolve this problem. Instead, we get these memorials about our nation's past being destroyed. This is even worse, celebrated. This is wrong. I mean, this is vandalism. And fun fact, this flag right here is not an actual flag that was the flag of the Confederacy. It was the battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia, the very army that Robert E. Lee led. And many units, many regiments all over the South actually fought under his banner. So should we still allow people to fly it? Yes, we should. Maybe try to form a compromise, like on certain days, on certain events, please don't allow this flag to be flown, and even so, only in areas that have regiments or people that actually fought under Robert E. Lee's banner. This flag is similar to our other flags that we had. The flag that, according to legend, Betsy Ross sewed. This flag, or the symbols of this flag, is again another symbol of the sacrifice our nation had to make, and in order to make this country greater than it was before. And I'm rather disturbed with how things are going, because if people start getting rid of statues just because one person, one great man, and great women, there are great women too, and great man do things that others find terrible. I mean, how long is it going to be before we decide the Romans were terrible? Let's destroy all their statues. The Romans, we owe so much to the Romans for our fabulous Western civilization. Arts, medicine even, agriculture and architecture, poetry, works of art, we should celebrate their accomplishments. But even so, I won't be surprised if in a matter of years, people will say, let's destroy all of these works of art. Why? Because of ideas like, these guys were terrible, they wiped out other civilizations. Well, let me newsflash to you. Back then, wars were nastier than before. There was no such thing as a Geneva Convention. You either win or you lose. If you lose, pray that you have a clever diplomat to work out something in your favor, or a culture that is willing to assimilate you and bring you in a little bit and allow you to keep some form of dignity. And the Romans were excellent at that. If you were a Greek, or if you were an Egyptian, you could be an Egyptian. It's just you would not be given benefits as a citizen unless you adopted Roman ways, Roman customs, Roman gods. Then you'll become a citizen, but as a subject, you are treated with a degree of dignity. But another thing that I am concerned about is monuments like Mount Rushmore are monuments about the various great individuals that helped us. Not just the founding fathers, but Abraham Lincoln. I mean, despite their flaws, the founding fathers were good, honest, God-fearing men that granted us the Constitution of the United States and other great works. I will be so upset if people started to tear these monuments down. Thankfully, right now, if you vandalized one of these great, fabulous figures' monuments, you will get an outcry of people condemning your actions. I mean, this has to stop. Another thing is this thing is what actually set off and inspired my idea for this video. There were talks about I was considering Christopher Columbus, but in all honesty, I didn't want to make it longer than before, but what I will say about Christopher Columbus before I go to this statue is Christopher Columbus helped us helped our ancestors discover the Americas, which allowed this great country to come to pass. We should show respect to that. But anyway, what is this statue? There is this monument in California about the founding of California. And this is one of the first statues. It's a collection of statues surrounding a monument. This is one of them. It's called Earlier Days. There's people thinking about taking this down because it's deemed racist against Native Americans. And this is really upsetting because early days, this is what California was like in the early days. The Native Americans were beaten. But you should take a closer look at who these three figures are. A defeated Native American on the ground, but right above him is a Catholic priest trying to help him, give him comfort of a better life. There is a Spanish rancher standing triumphantly. These are the earliest days of California, right when it was under Spanish and Mexican rule. This is a part of California's heritage right here. It should not be thrown aside, gotten rid of, dismissed as racist. The Spanish people, in their own time, thought they were trying to help the Native Americans. They didn't mean any ill to them. They felt like they were doing a good deed to them, and that should be respected and even honored. This is Chief Joseph of the there it is. He is of the Wal-Lam-Wat-Kian band of Nez Perce, a Native American tribe native to the state of Oregon. He was born in the 1840s. There is this quote of him that he said that I like a lot. A man who would not love his father's grave is worse than a wild animal. I agree with him completely. Statues are part of our forefathers' legacy, of us honoring our forefathers' legacy. I do not wish to show dishonor to my forefathers. I feel very upset when others do desire to show dishonor to our forefathers. And I will say destroying statues, and the people who do this are showing dishonor to their fathers and their forefathers' grave. So according to a Native American chief, yes, you are worse than a wild animal. Have a nice day, everyone. Be well.